Major funding for Florida Matters comes from the Mosaic Company, a leading producer of fertilizer made from phosphate, a natural resource found in Florida. America's farmers depend on Florida phosphate for their crop nutrition needs. Mosaic, helping America grow.
Hello, I'm Irene Mayer, and welcome to Florida Matters. Most of us are feeling the effects of the economic downturn. All around us, people are losing their homes to foreclosure, and the doors of familiar businesses, large and small, are being closed for good. We all seem to have friends or family members who are struggling. Maybe you've lost your job, or you might just be feeling some very real stress about that possibility. Either way, it seems as though many of us are changing the way we live.
When it comes to shopping, just getting what we need, not what we want.
We've cut back on a lot of expenditures, not taking the trips, buying different groceries, buying them at different places.
And we're having to do things that don't cost as much money, like go to the museum because we have a membership there.
Just watch what I spend, be a little more careful, watch the water output at the house, and I don't go out to lunch. I eat my lunch here in the park. I bring my lunch with me.
Our sales are down primarily because of the economy. Half the people who walk up and down the street at lunch brought their lunch. They're bringing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and splitting them.
We have a small family-owned business, so the first thing we did is that I'm having work part-time now.
Everybody's touched in some way by the recession. I mean, that doesn't mean everybody's going to lose their job. Right now, I think the key to the situation is the rapid passage of this second stimulus bill. I think it's essential to ending this recession. I think every day that Congress and the President linger in getting this measure implemented is another day longer that we spend in recession.
Probably the silver lining behind all this, I think it's forced a lot of us to do things differently now, look at different ways of doing business, that when this does turn around, those of us that survive, it will be better.
Carson Cooper, famed WUSF radio announcer, joins us now in the studio with the story of an extraordinary Bay Area woman who has turned the living simple concept into an art form.
And living simple, Irene, does not have to be complicated. Now, in this economy, a lot of us want to save money. Sure. How far are you willing to go? Clip a few more coupons, maybe visit the dollar store a little more often, or maybe consider dumpster diving.
I hear a lot of people are doing that.
And dear, my birthday is next month. The dumpster behind any ski shop would be nice. But really, we're going to meet a family now who has taken the art of being frugal to a new level. The Heinz family was listed in Parade magazine as the most frugal family in America last year. You may have seen Sue Heinz on the Oprah Winfrey Show recently, sharing her expertise on how to get by with less. How does the Heinz family do it? Well, take a look.
Sue Heinz knows a bargain when she sees one.
You've got the store coupon here, and you add the manufacturer coupon, and you've got a good deal.
The married mother of four turns coupon clipping into an art form.
This particular week, these bars right here, you could buy 5 of them. You'll pay $30, but you'll get a $30 coupon back towards the store, so that your next purchase you'll have $30 off.
Learning how to stretch a dollar started out as a necessity.
In the beginning, like I said, we were living on a first-year teacher's salary when we had our first child, so we didn't have any wiggle room whatsoever.
But is now a choice.
It's an individual thing. Finances are very personal, and they're completely different for everyone. Ah, you got me! Gotcha. I want to be able to order that pizza with my kids. I want to be able to sign them up for tennis lessons. I want to have that money and that freedom and the lack of worry from knowing that I'm stretching my budget too far. And so I consider taking an hour of my time a week or an hour and a half very worth it. The payoff is big if you just spend a little time on it.
With her husband's handyman skills,
we've renovated our bathroom. My husband, for our anniversary, romantic that he is, he installed this ceiling fan.
And Sue's talent for interior design,
I did all the paintings myself.
this family of 6 thrives as a thrifty household.
Just because you choose to live thriftily doesn't mean you can't splurge every once in a while. You make your choices so that you can enrich your quality of life in other ways. We chose this playset. This was something that was important to us.
And the Hines family still manages to go on yearly vacations, never forgetting to pack their smart ideas for savings.
This summer, we took a trip to Washington, D.C. We used the metro for transportation. In fact, once we arrived in Washington, we got to our little place with the kitchen. We did not use our car until we left. We used entirely public transportation, which was a lot of fun. The kids had a blast. And then all of the museums and national exhibits were free.
With her newfound fame as America's thriftiest mom, Sue Hines wants to share her tips and techniques for getting the best bang for your buck and enjoying life. She recommends keeping a coupon book to organize your clippings, searching online to discover upcoming sales, and remembering to enjoy the simple things in life.
My son, Dylan, this year had a really neat birthday cake, and he decorated it with candy corn. I swear there were probably 100 pieces of candy corn all over this cake, but he had the best time. And then, you invite the friends over, and they'll just run around the backyard and have a blast. It is something they will never forget, and it doesn't cost a fortune.
With unemployment rates at their highest, many Bay Area families have to make do with less. So where do you start?
When it comes down to it, money, it's all about numbers. You don't need to add the anger there. You don't. Just make it about numbers, and things are a lot easier to deal with. I think people have this strange idea that they have to have more than they need. I think a lot of being thrifty is being aware that you don't need quite as much. Obviously, a roof over your head, spending time with your family. You want to live simply. You want to appreciate all that you have. We've got the beach, we've got parks, we've got weather that will allow us to be outside year-round and do outdoor activities at no cost. Part of my thriftiness and part of my outlook on life is that I try to instill in them an appreciation for the amazing things that we do have. The most important things in life do not cost a penny.
By the way, Miss Hines says she's not into dumpster diving, although she did tell Parade magazine that she did retrieve some rollerblades from her neighbor's curb. And while they didn't fit anyone at her family, her cousins were able to use them.
Still good recycling, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Carson. Whether you're a parent of 4 kids pinching pennies or a policymaker trying to find the best ways to allocate funds, the economy is probably making things more difficult than ever. Each community in Florida must figure out how to plan their economic futures. The approaches are all a little different, but let's get a sense of how cities and counties hope to grow despite our current slow economy. Tammy Nemechek is the president and CEO of Collier County's Economic Development Council. Sitting next to her, her counterpart in Pinellas County is Mike Meidel. Also joining us next to me is Ray Gilley from the Metro Orlando Economic Development Council. And last but not least is Tom Patton from Polk County's Economic Development Council. Thank you all for being with us. Why don't we start by getting a sense of how the economy is doing in your individual communities. I'll start with you, Tammy.
Thank you. Southwest Florida has definitely been hit hard by the downturn in the economy. Housing market, especially in that area, has been hit significantly hard. Our area has typically been reliant on construction and tourism and agriculture, quite frankly, and efforts to diversify the economy are getting more awareness and more support now than ever because they understand that we just can't rely on that three-legged stool in order to support ourselves.
And Mike, how about in Pinellas County?
We don't have the construction base that they had in Southwest Florida. We're a pretty built-out community, and we've got a diverse base of employers already, but the economy is affecting everyone. We're at an 8% unemployment rate right now, and the labor force itself is growing. More people are looking for work as they're concerned about their spouses losing employment as well. So you have a lot of people out there looking for jobs for the first time. And then you have the people who are currently employed who are a little nervous about their position too. They're out out there looking. But we've got a good, strong base, diverse industries from aviation, aerospace to medical devices, and we hope to build on that strong base for our future.
And Ray, Metro Orlando.
Yes, Metro Orlando. We are probably in similar shape in terms of our unemployment. We're about 7.3% unemployment, which that's about 65,000 people. That's quite a few people who are unemployed, and a lot of people who right now might be underemployed as well, as people scramble to find jobs that may or may not meet all of their needs, but certainly keep them employed. We've been fortunate enough to have some good company announcements recently that are going to help with some new employment opportunities for people soon.
And Tom, in Polk County.
Very much the same as far as the unemployment situation in Polk. It's been tracking just a little bit higher than the state's unemployment rate, but if you can look at the glass being half full, that's been good for us in a sense this year, because we used to be predominantly in phosphate and agriculture, and our swings were typically double of the unemployment rates when we went into recessions. But over the past 5 to 10 years, we've done a pretty good job of diversifying our economy.
What about the economic stimulus package? How are you all feeling right now? Like you can't wait to get your hands on that money?
I'm feeling a great deal of anxiety about it myself, both pro and con.
In what way?
My positive anxiety is I can't wait for the stimulus money to get here and get to work, which will hopefully turn this tide of the unemployment rate rising and send it back down the other way. But I'm also a bit concerned that you know, you got to get the dollars in the right places to do the most effective thing that you can with the dollars. And while back in the New Deal era, putting people to work on roads and bridges and dams was a great idea because there was not a lot of technology back then. Today there's technology. We need to continue to progress other things in training programs and technology programs and try to bring more of the technology here. And if some of those stimulus dollars can help us set up USF Polytech, we're still waiting for funding for USF Polytech over in Lakeland. We've got another major training facility for the community college in Polk County that we're waiting for funding. They've been approved, but right now while the economy's down, there's no money. So that's one of the anxieties that I have, is hoping that some of that stimulus money not only goes for roads and infrastructure like that, but helps move us forward in the technology sector so that when we do come out of this, we're coming out with better skilled jobs.
You have to come up with all different kinds of businesses in order to attract all different kinds of people to the state of Florida and bring them back after they finish their education. And you have some interesting industry in Collier County that has to do with video games and unique stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, and those are the types of things that we want to grow for the community. We have the leading arthroscopic surgical device company in the world located in Collier County, and the 11th largest private software developer in the world located in Collier County. And you know, those are hidden treasures within the state of Florida, and we need to identify throughout the state who those hidden treasures are, and more prominent treasures like a Burnham or Orlando area, but make sure that they're supported and that the infrastructure is here for not only just the business but the people, because the people are what are going to draw the business at the end of the day.
Does each county already have an idea of how that money would be spent? I mean, we all fantasize about winning the lotto tomorrow. What would you do?
Well, I think every organization in the state has put together their wish list.
Really?
You know? And what I'd like to see, though, is that somebody, more than just 4 people, are sitting down and looking and saying, well, this is where the money is going to go. I like a formal review of those projects, because they run the gamut. I mean, from
how would you decide?
Yes, it's
But
hard.
it would appear that this president and this administration is going to be different driving up. We were talking about some of the kinds of outreach they're doing to get public input on what should be the priority. So I think the use of technology is going to allow for a lot of great input, and I sincerely feel like there will be some great decisions made in terms of how to prioritize the investments to not only make for short-term stimulus, but maybe long-term legacies in all the communities where these investments will be made.
But I think a lot of people are thinking that that money is going to somehow create jobs tomorrow, that people are going to be back to work instantly.
There are some short-term benefits to building some infrastructure projects that are already approved and ready to go, and they would not only, as Mike mentioned earlier, they would connect people so that they can get to work and then back home again, and as well as expedite the movement of goods and services. So some of those projects make a lot of sense, and they will put people to work immediately. However, those jobs are not permanent and long-term. And so when we talk about legacy in the economic development world, we're talking about companies who will be around 10 to 20, 30 years from now, employing people, making products, goods, and services that are exported globally, and that those monies from those sales come back to that community. And that's what we're at.
What's the stumbling block that you encounter most when you come across a project that would be really good for your community? Where does it get hung up?
It's financing.
Finding the money to do it.
Finding the money to do it. Right now, it truly is a national story. I mean, you really have trouble with someone with a great idea finding the money to get the job done. Venture capital is a great way to start, and we have got some actually venture capitalists around the state, people with their own money that are willing to invest into great ideas. And right now, it's probably the only game in town. So some of these guys really are looking to find the next great idea, invest in that company.
Well, let me put you on the spot. Let me ask you this. Is there one pet project in Pinellas that you would like to see put forward tomorrow if you could?
Well, we're working right now on nanotechnology, the very, very small microscopic level materials that can make things happen. I'd like to see the success of the spinning off new businesses from the research that's being done here locally, particularly in the biology area, and being able to find new ways to administer drugs, to diagnose illnesses, and using these new technologies. And I think that's where we'd like to focus.
Quickly, in Collier County, any pet project?
With our university, we're working on a project right now for a potential institute for personalized medicine, which would take research from National Institute in order to be able to create something for our community that focuses on research and development, and that.
So get it to
very
patients
interesting. Yeah, exactly.
Very quickly.
Very much so.
All right.
So.
I have
And Ray?
a quick short list.
Oh, quick.
Commuter rail, we need to get that done. The medical school funding, the medical school's been approved but not completely funded. It's in
University of
second phase,
Central
University of
Florida.
Central Florida Medical School. And then there's a little road that needs to be done to connect the B line to Alfayette Trail that would open up the opportunity for a new Central Florida expanded research park. Our research park is almost full.
Well, you got a lot going on. And,
Yes.
and in Polk County, what would you-
University of South Florida Polytechnic, we need to get that going. And once we do, the next step, evolutionary step with that is a business incubator, technology incubator to try to move us into some of these technology fields that we're not quite in yet or not quite developed enough in.
All right, very good. We'll have to see how it happens, how it works out, and you'll come back and report to us. I hope. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can join the discussion about our area's economic development efforts online. Just leave us your comments or questions at WUSF.org/Florida Matters. Contributing reporter Larry Elliston is here now to bring us our next Florida story. I understand that you went to a job placement center and talked with some of the counselors there who are helping people find work. I hear they're coming in by the hundreds there. What is it in our Florida economy that's making it so vulnerable right now?
Florida is a growth machine. That's what we do. We grow. It's been that way since World War II, when we were the smallest state in the South, a couple of million people. Now we're the fourth largest state in the nation, more than 18.5 million people. So when you stop building houses and buying and selling real estate, stop that migration to Florida, the economy kind of grinds to a halt. And then you've got tourism on top of that. So really it's a case of Florida being a mega state, and it's, you know, the old saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. The economic news has not been good. Yet out on the busy roadways, things look so normal. The parking lots tell a different story. For shoppers, there's no rush anymore to get that empty parking space. There are just too many to choose from. Business closings and employee layoffs have hit Florida hard. There are parking lots, of course, still filled with cars, but some of them are crowded for all the wrong reasons. At state employment centers where the jobless come to find a job, open spaces are in demand.
Well, when I'm driving in and I pull into the parking lot and I get out of my car, typically the first thing I think about are the types of people that I'm going to come across that day. Every person's situation is unique, how the job market has affected their life, losing their job search, and I take that into consideration with the services that we offer here and how I go about helping them.
I need a job, a full-time job with benefits.
Donna?
Hi.
Michelle Tripp is a career manager with Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance. Her first client today is Donna Hignite, an executive assistant who lost her full-time job 7 months ago. Finding a new job?
It's hard, very, very hard. And I'm, above 50, and there's so much competition out there. It's you have to keep yourself picked up every day, and it's not easy. Here comes the tears.
It's a story Michelle Tripp hears over and over again, especially from displaced workers who haven't had to track down employment in years.
A lot of people have been on their jobs for a long period of time, say more than 5 years. And those people haven't been in this job market, and they're not familiar with what's happening, the changes in human resources and what they're looking for in a resume. Today's employer is not yesterday's. It is an employer's market now, and they can ask for such specific skills. You really need to highlight that at the top of your resume. You can call them skills, you can call them abilities.
So Donna Hignite is here to revamp her resume, one that will give her a fighting chance in an internet world.
Because I've been applying online, and it feels like your application, your resume goes right into the black hole, and you're spinning your wheels.
What you want to put at your skills and your abilities are your major accomplishments. This is something that needs to be right up there at the top. Go to Google, type in cover letter examples, great examples on how to format them.
From guidance on a resume to recognizing transferable job skills.
I'd like to do something in medical, which I've never done.
Counselors like Michelle Tripp also help Florida's desperate job seekers in a more human way.
Their situation becomes your situation, and you feel the desperation sometimes when someone's been unemployed for 6 months, 7 months, a year, and they become frustrated and they turn to you for that help. So not only are we assisting them with whatever barriers they might have, we're also a shoulder to lean on, perhaps a motivator for them.
It just feels heavy at the front of 2009 that there's so many people unemployed, and I'm just one of them. And
you are.
You've got to make yourself shine, and
you do. And I've given you some tools to get
Yes.
outside of that box, and really that's the key. All right.
Right. Thank you.
As dozens of career managers at Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance administer their very special brand of hope, other unemployed workers wait their turn. Tyronza Merrick had been steadily employed in Florida's booming construction trade for 20 years.
It's kind of bad for construction right about now. I don't have a mortgage, good thing I don't, but just making rent, and feeding myself and my family, kind of rough. Get on the computer now. As soon as we want to come available and do the search and go looking and, look hard and put in a lot of applications and I get something. Might not be what I want, but it'll be some work.
As each day goes by, you can tell how this local area is impacted by the number of layoffs, the number that's unemployed, because our numbers increase every day. People coming through the door asking for assistance in job searching. And it's just an astonishing number when you take a look at how it was, say, 6 months ago or a year ago.
No matter what, you have to keep going and keep searching. It's all about survival.
And what is Michelle Tripp's reward in the worst economy since the 1930s? Knowing she has helped someone get a job.
Is this Jolanda? Hi, how are you? Yes, I did, and I wanted to call and say congratulations.
With any luck, 2009 will be the year Florida's troubled economy starts to get back on track, and the parking lots are full again.
I'd like to see the economy go in a direction that will impact this area with jobs, good paying jobs to where people can support their family. I enjoy meeting people, I enjoy working with people, but to be honest with you, I'd like to see someone one time that they go out and get a job and I don't ever have to see them again. Because then I know that they're okay and they have a job and they can support their family.
So Donna's been looking for work for quite a long time. Has she found anything yet?
She hasn't. She's restructured her resume, though. That's going to help. And she's got a few leads. And both Donna and Michelle Tripp are optimistic that she's going to find something. But keep in mind, in this job market, for every opening, there could be 200 or 300 candidates. And the chances are that all of them are very qualified.
Right. Employers can be as picky as they want to be right now, it seems.
It's an employer's market.
Yeah, definitely. What sectors of the job market seem to be hiring now? What's hot?
Well, here in Florida, the medical field is hot. I think it's going to be that way for a long time. And the other interesting thing that's kind of got a lot of growth in it right now is collections. All those unpaid bills in this terrible economy.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you very much, Larry. We'll see you next time. And thank you for joining us this week on Florida Matters.
Major funding for Florida Matters comes from the Mosaic Company, a leading producer of fertilizer made from phosphate, a natural resource found in Florida. America's farmers depend on Florida phosphate for their crop nutrition needs. Mosaic, helping America grow.